Greetings, my friends. How are you doing today? And from where in the world are you listening to us? In today's video, we will speak about the mechanics of luck, the hidden role of probability, chaos, and small actions in shaping events. What if luck is not a gift from heaven, but a secret mechanism woven into the very fabric of reality? What if the slightest movement of a hand or a single random word could shape the future more than any great effort? Let me lift the first veil of this mystery. Listen closely, for this is where everything begins. Luck has always been a word that carried both wonder and fear. For centuries, people whispered that it was a gift from gods or a curse from unseen forces. Yet behind the veil of myths and rituals, a different picture quietly emerges. Luck is not pure magic. It is the meeting point between human choice and the hidden mathematics of the world. Imagine walking down a narrow path covered with autumn leaves. Each step could land on firm ground or slip on something hidden. The outcome is not chosen by gods throwing dice. It is the result of friction, weight, wind, and countless invisible details. To call it luck is easier than to see the layers of reality at work. When ancient people saw lightning strike, they believed it to be the anger of the sky. Today, we see the science of electricity. In the same way, what we call luck is often just the surface of deeper patterns. Every coin that falls, every card that turns, every meeting of two strangers follows hidden probabilities. These are not random shadows. They are part of a larger design that appears chaotic, but breathes with order. Luck is born when chaos and choice touch each other. Chaos alone is only endless movement. Choice alone is only a line without depth. But when a decision is made in the middle of uncertainty, a new opening appears. The feeling of being lucky is nothing more than the awareness of this rare crossing. Think of the stories where someone misses a train only to meet a friend on the next one, or where a delayed letter saves a life. We call this coincidence, yet coincidence is simply the poetry of probability. The universe does not roll dice for fun. It weaves countless lines, and in some places they cross. To stand at such a crossing is to feel the strange warmth of fortune. This is why luck has been surrounded with myths for so long. It feels larger than life. It feels as though destiny itself bends for a moment. But the truth is quieter. Luck is not a command from heaven. It is the silent dialogue between order and disorder, between what we decide and what we cannot control. So let us step into this mystery with open attention. For to understand luck is to begin seeing the invisible threads that hold together every moment of our lives. The world is built not from certainty, but from chances. Every falling leaf, every raindrop, every breath you take follows laws of probability. Nothing is fully fixed, yet nothing is entirely free. Probability is the hidden rhythm beneath all appearances. Picture a coin resting in your hand. You throw it into the air, and it spins with grace. It seems random whether it lands as heads or tails, but if you could see every detail, the angle, the weight, the air currents, the result would appear less mysterious. Probability is not chaos. It is the language through which uncertainty finds its balance. Life itself is a vast field of probabilities. To wake up at a certain hour, to cross paths with a stranger, to hear a song that stirs a forgotten memory, all these are probabilities aligning into lived experience. What seems accidental is simply the unfolding of hidden likelihoods. Even thoughts and decisions are shaped by invisible chances. A memory appears in your mind not because it was summoned by force, but because the probability of it rising at that moment outweighed the silence of all other memories. A choice you make is not isolated. It leans upon countless tiny probabilities. The way you feel, the words you heard, the light in the room. Probability is the silent architect of destiny, It does not command, but it guides. It does not push, but it suggests. Every event is like a dice cast not once, but through 1,000 subtle influences. And luck, when it arrives, is simply standing on the side where probabilities converge in your favor. Consider how seeds fall from a tree. Some land on stone, others on fertile soil. To an observer, it seems the tree is careless, scattering at random. Yet within that scattering lies probability. Some seeds must fail so that others may root. This is the quiet law of the world. To understand probability is to see the invisible currents shaping our days. The meeting of two people at a crossing, the sudden success of an idea, the healing of an illness, none of these are entirely random. They are the face of probability, revealing itself for a brief moment. And so, luck is not a miracle, but a skill. The skill of noticing when the invisible numbers tilt in your favor. By paying attention, by being present, one learns to step into the flow of probability instead of being dragged by it. Chaos is often imagined as disorder, a storm without direction, a sea without shore. Yet true chaos is not emptiness. It is a field of hidden patterns waiting to be seen. Within every swirl of confusion there are shapes, just as within a storm one may find repeating waves, spirals, and rhythms. Think of the sky filled with clouds. At first glance they appear random, drifting without reason. But look closer, and you notice shapes repeating. Lines of wind, circles of pressure, flows of invisible energy. Chaos carries its own geometry, a silent order within its shifting face. The same is true in life. A small hesitation, a sudden word, a missed step. Each seems like noise, but together they create a larger drawing. This is why people speak of the butterfly effect. A wing moves in one corner of the world, and a storm rises in another. Chaos is not disorder, but sensitivity. It shows us that even the smallest motion can echo endlessly. In these sensitive points, luck shines brightest. When the world trembles with possibilities, one action can tilt the entire balance. A glance exchanged between two strangers, a book found by accident, a decision delayed by seconds. All these are places where chaos weaves its design. Chaos is the loom upon which fate is woven. Every thread vibrates, touching others, creating patterns too large for us to see at once. We call them coincidences, yet they are not accidents. They are intersections of threads within the fabric of reality. Imagine standing before a pond at dawn. The water seems calm, but the smallest stone sends ripples across its entire surface. Chaos is this sensitivity, the ability of a tiny act to move the whole. In such ripples, we glimpse the mystery of destiny. It is here that luck is often mistaken for miracle. Someone appears in the right place at the right time, and we think fortune smiled. But behind the smile stands chaos, arranging paths so delicately that even a whisper can redirect the future. To recognize the patterns of chaos is to see life with deeper eyes. It means understanding that what feels random is often the most meaningful. For within the trembling of uncertainty, reality opens the doors of transformation. And luck, once feared or worshipped, reveals itself as the music of hidden order. Every action, no matter how small, carries a hidden weight. A gesture, a pause, a word spoken without thought. Each plants a seed in the soil of time. At first, these seeds seem invisible, but with patience they grow into forests that shape entire destinies. Think of water dripping slowly upon stone. Each drop appears weak, unable to change anything. Yet with years of persistence, the stone itself is carved. What begins as a minor motion becomes an undeniable force. In this way, small actions create vast consequences. A smile offered to a stranger can soften a hardened day. A decision to wait one extra moment can alter the direction of a journey. Even the choice to open or close a door changes the flow of what follows. What feels insignificant is often the first note in a long song of events. The world is a network of chains, each link connected to countless others. To move even one link is to set vibrations across the whole. A letter delayed, a word unsent, a step taken on a different path. Each echoes farther than the eye can see. This is why stories of chance often carry such weight. What looks like luck may simply be the unfolding of tiny choices magnified by time. Picture a forest fire that begins from a single spark. The flame is small, almost fragile, yet the conditions around it, the wind, the dryness, the scattered branches, transform it into a great blaze. The spark did not intend destruction, but it carried the potential hidden in its very nature. So too with human actions. Each small gesture holds within it the seed of transformation. To live with awareness of this truth is to respect every movement, no matter how simple. It is to understand that fate is not written by grand moments alone, but by thousands of unnoticed decisions. When someone says, "Luck was on my side," often it is the memory of all those tiny steps that gathered and revealed themselves in one moment of clarity. Thus, luck is not separate from action. It is the flowering of hidden seeds, the unfolding of quiet gestures. The future is not made in leaps, but in whispers, in the small choices repeated over time, weaving the fabric of reality with threads too fine to notice until the pattern is complete. Human beings do not only live in the world of facts, they also live in the world of meaning. Two people may face the same event, yet one calls it bad luck, while the other sees it as an opportunity. What makes the difference is not the event itself, but the lens of perception. Belief acts like a compass, quietly adjusting the direction of our steps. When someone believes in luck, they move differently. Their eyes search for openings, their mind notices details, their body responds to possibility. In this way, belief increases the chances of success, not by magic, but by awareness. Imagine walking through a field at night with only a small lantern. The light does not change the field, but it reveals paths you would not see in darkness. Belief works the same way. It does not create luck from nothing, but it illuminates chances that were always present. Psychologists speak of the placebo effect. A pill without medicine can still heal if a person believes it will. The body listens to the mind, and the mind listens to belief. In this same manner, luck bends toward those who expect it. Belief tunes perception, and perception shapes reality. Faith, whether in chance, in destiny, or in unseen guidance, is not foolishness. It is a form of openness. A person who believes in possibility is like a sailor with sails raised, ready to catch the wind when it comes. Those who do not believe may drift endlessly, sails closed even as the wind blows past. Consider rituals before a great task. Athletes touching the ground, students repeating a phrase, travelers carrying a charm. These are not mere superstitions. They are reminders to the mind. Be alert, be ready, trust the moment. Through such reminders, perception sharpens, and hidden opportunities become visible. The power of luck, then, does not lie only in numbers or chance. It also lies in the inner posture of the soul. Belief acts as a filter, allowing some possibilities to shine, while others fade into shadow. By choosing faith in possibility, people widen the door through which luck may enter. Thus, to believe in luck is not to escape reason. It is to align oneself with the subtle rhythm of reality, where expectation becomes preparation, and preparation becomes opportunity. In this quiet union of belief and perception, what we call luck begins to unfold. Across cultures and centuries, human beings have turned to rituals before facing the unknown. A whispered prayer, a repeated mantra, the lighting of a candle, the touch of a charm. These gestures are found everywhere, from temples to kitchens, from battlefields to exam halls. They are not spells in the strict sense. They are instruments of focus. A mantra is not only a sound, it is a rhythm that gathers scattered thoughts and guides them into a single stream. When repeated with intention, it stills the noise of doubt and invites the mind to settle. In that silence, attention becomes sharper, and hidden chances are easier to notice. What may seem like magic is simply the deepening of awareness. Rituals act like tuning forks for the spirit. Just as a musician strikes a note to bring an instrument into harmony, so too do people use ritual to bring the self into balance. A coin rubbed for luck does not change the laws of probability, but it changes the readiness of the one who carries it. Confidence rises, focus clears, and the body aligns with intention. Imagine standing before a doorway. Without ritual, you may rush through without awareness. With ritual, even a pause, a breath, a gesture, you remind yourself, this moment matters. In that awareness, your eyes sharpen, your hands steady, your choices become deliberate. This is how ritual increases the chance of aligning with opportunity. Science has shown that preparation alters outcomes. Athletes who visualize their performance, singers who breathe deeply before a note, students who follow calming routines, all enter the moment with greater clarity. Rituals, whether ancient or personal, are technologies of the mind. They help direct attention toward possibility. Belief makes rituals powerful, but repetition makes them reliable. Each time a mantra is spoken, it carves a groove in the mind, teaching the body to enter a state of readiness. Over time, the act itself becomes enough to signal, now is the moment. Thus, luck seems to answer. Yet what is really happening is alignment. The mind aligning with intention, the body aligning with choice, the moment aligning with awareness. The illusion of cosmic response is born, but behind it lies the very real power of attention shaped by ritual. In this way, mantras and rituals are not escape from reality. They are doorways into it, helping people meet probability with focus and walk into the unknown with steadier steps. The universe moves endlessly toward disorder. This movement is called entropy, the slow fading of structures into chaos. A building crumbles, a flame burns out, a memory dissolves into silence. Yet against this constant drift stands another force: information. Information is the pattern that resists the pull of disintegration. When you write a word, you place order upon a blank page. When you remember a face, you hold shape within the flow of time. Each act of attention, each piece of knowledge, is a spark against the dimming tide of entropy. Information is the map through which we find our way in the storm. Consider a library standing through centuries. Dust gathers, pages fade, yet within the symbols lies preserved knowledge. Even if walls collapse, the pattern can be carried onward, copied, retold, reborn. This is the secret strength of information. It endures beyond the matter that holds it. Luck often belongs to those who carry information. To see a path in chaos, one must first recognize the signs. A sailor who reads the stars does not avoid storms by chance. A farmer who knows the soil does not call the harvest mere fortune. Knowledge transforms uncertainty into guidance. Information is not only facts, it is awareness. To notice the smallest change in a voice, to read the rhythm of a crowd, to sense the timing of a choice. These are all forms of information. They sharpen perception, reducing the field of randomness. Where others see only noise, the attentive mind discovers a doorway. Entropy scatters possibilities like leaves in the wind. Information gathers them back into a pattern, allowing choice to be more precise. This is why the prepared often appear lucky. Their readiness narrows chaos, shifting the odds in their favor. To the outside world, it looks like fortune, but it is the quiet work of awareness. Imagine standing before a river in flood. To step blindly is to be swept away, but to study the currents, to understand the flow, is to find the stones that allow crossing. The river is the same, but information changes everything. Thus, the dance between entropy and information shapes our experience of luck. One dissolves, the other preserves. One scatters, the other arranges. In the meeting of these two forces lies the secret. Luck smiles upon those who listen, observe, and gather the fragments of order hidden within disorder. Every decision, no matter how small, is a fork in the road. To choose one path is to leave behind countless others. These invisible branches stretch endlessly, and though we do not walk them, they shape the destiny we live. Choice is the silent architect of possibility. When you lift a cup instead of leaving it, when you say yes instead of no, when you wait instead of rushing, each act sends the world down a different line. We cannot see all the lines at once, but they exist, woven into the fabric of reality like threads in a tapestry. Luck is often nothing more than stepping into the branch where chance and decision meet in harmony. Imagine a tree at the edge of a meadow. From its trunk grow hundreds of branches, each leading in a different direction. The trunk is the present moment, and the branches are the possible futures. To climb one branch is to leave behind the others. Yet the shape of the tree reminds us. Many paths grow from one root, and even the smallest choice bends the direction of growth. Most people believe they act freely, yet much of choice is guided by hidden forces: mood, memory, habit, the weight of culture, even the posture of the body. A single word overheard, a fragment of a dream, the quality of morning light. All these shape the choice we think is ours. What we call freedom is often a dance with unseen influences. Luck appears when a chosen branch aligns with favorable conditions. It is like opening a door at the exact moment the wind rises, carrying us forward. To an observer, it looks miraculous. To the one who chooses, it feels natural. Behind it lies the meeting of countless hidden currents, guiding the decision. This is why some lives seem filled with fortune, while others feel bound to missteps. Those who pay attention to the subtle mechanisms of choice learn to sense the weight of possibilities. They know when to pause, when to act, when to turn. Their choices are not guesses, but conversations with the invisible architecture of reality. Thus, luck is not only chance and not only will. It is the convergence of decision and circumstance, the alignment of an inner movement with the outer flow. To see this is to realize every choice, however ordinary, carries within it the power to shape destiny. Luck is often imagined as something that falls upon us like rain, a blessing or a curse from somewhere beyond our control. Yet when we look closer, we begin to see a different truth. Luck does not arrive from the sky. It arises in the meeting between our choices and the hidden movements of the world. In this sense, we are not simply receivers of fortune. We are co-authors of it. Consider the act of planting a seed. A gardener does not command the sun to shine or the rain to fall, yet the gardener prepares the soil, clears the stones, chooses the right moment. When the seed grows, outsiders may say, "How lucky." But the gardener knows, luck is not only chance, it is readiness meeting opportunity. Every moment in life carries potential, but potential must be met by action. Those who remain still, waiting endlessly for fortune to strike, often see it pass by. Those who move, explore, and engage with the world multiply the chances that opportunity will touch them. To walk through 10 doors is to meet more possibilities than standing before one. Luck, then, is less like a gift and more like a dialogue. The universe offers patterns, probabilities, and openings. We answer with awareness, decisions, and steps. When the two voices meet, luck is born. Without our participation, the patterns remain silent. Without the world's shifting currents, our choices remain dry. Together, they create the melody of fortune. Think of stories where success seems sudden. An artist discovered, a traveler finding treasure, a chance encounter changing a life. Behind every moment of luck, there is often a long chain of invisible preparation. The painter has spent years sharpening skills. The traveler has endured many roads. The heart has been made ready by patience. When fortune arrives, it is not random. It is the flowering of hidden effort combined with the breath of chance. This truth carries a quiet responsibility. If we are co-authors of luck, then every choice, every gesture, becomes part of the script. To dismiss small actions as meaningless is to forget that the script is written line by line. A letter answered today, a kindness offered without thought, a step taken despite doubt, each becomes a word in the larger story of fortune. Luck also belongs to those who are willing to risk. To choose nothing is to allow entropy to scatter all possibilities, but to choose something, even imperfectly, is to give the world a line to respond to. Luck does not favor perfection. It favors movement. The one who dares to act enters the conversation with destiny, while the silent remain unheard. There is also humility in this understanding. To be co-authors does not mean absolute control. We cannot demand the rain or command the winds, yet we can set our sails. We can build the boat. We can be ready when the winds shift. In this balance of effort and surrender, human beings find their deepest power. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path looks ordinary, the other uncertain. The choice may seem small, but with it you place your signature upon the page of reality. The world responds. Sometimes it opens, sometimes it closes, but always it answers. To live as a co-author of luck is to step into this dialogue with courage and trust. Thus, luck is not a stranger to be feared or a god to be worshipped. It is a partner, subtle and quiet, walking alongside us. And in every decision, in every moment of attention, we are shaping the meeting place where fortune appears. To realize this is to awaken from passivity. It is to see oneself not as a pawn of chance, but as a participant in the living fabric of reality. Every future begins not with a grand gesture, but with a single step, a quiet choice, a small movement, a word spoken in passing. These are the sparks that ignite entire paths. What seems insignificant in the moment may become the cornerstone of what is yet to come. Imagine a stone dropped into still water. The first ripple is tiny, almost invisible, yet it spreads until the whole surface is touched. So too with human actions. A single decision today creates waves that will shape tomorrow. The path of destiny is not drawn by thunder, but by countless whispers of choice. People often wait for extraordinary moments, believing that only great leaps can change a life. Yet life itself is built from the smallest bricks. To wake with clarity, to listen carefully, to extend kindness, to dare a small risk. These are the seeds from which larger transformations grow. The great turning points are not separate from the small gestures. They are born from them. Luck, when it appears, is rarely a sudden miracle. It is the moment when accumulated steps converge and reveal their pattern. What looks like chance is the flowering of thousands of unnoticed decisions. To call it fortune is natural, but beneath the name lies the simple truth: every action bends the future. Consider how history itself has shifted from small beginnings. A letter carried across a border, a discovery made by accident, a delay that saved a life. Each carried within it the force of change, even though it looked ordinary at the time. We live surrounded by such moments, though we rarely recognize their weight. To understand this is to live with reverence for the present. It is to treat every moment as fertile ground, every gesture as a seed. The question is not whether fortune will arrive, but whether we will act in ways that allow it to take root. Thus, the secret of luck is not waiting for the extraordinary, but honoring the ordinary. To take one mindful step, to speak one thoughtful word, to choose one direction with awareness, this is enough to tilt the balance of probability. And in that tilt lies the power to shape a future far greater than the present moment can reveal. Every journey through mystery must return to silence. We have walked together through the hidden mechanics of luck, through chaos, probability, small actions, and the quiet partnership between choice and chance. What began as a question, "What is luck?" has unfolded into a deeper vision. Luck is not outside of us, but within the dance between our attention and the world. The river of life flows with countless currents. Some are strong, some are barely felt. Yet at every moment, we are invited to step into the flow with awareness. Fortune is not a stranger that visits by surprise. It is the reflection of how we listen, how we act, and how we honor even the smallest gestures. To see luck clearly is to remove the veil of fear and superstition. It is to recognize that destiny is not built from thunderous moments, but from quiet choices layered one upon another. And in that recognition comes a soft strength, the understanding that we are never powerless. Every word, every pause, every breath carries the seed of transformation. So as this reflection comes to an end, let it remain within you like a lantern lit in the night. Carry it gently. Let it remind you that fortune is not given. It is grown, one step at a time.